morning, everybody. We're just going to chant, what the fuck? Because 2023, a lot of shit went down. Who had their best year ever in 2023? There we go. You guys kick ass. You decide whether 2024 is going to be better. Those people decided to have their best year. A lot of mortgage brokers in the room, we used to say, hey, bad news is good news. Rates are a wild card. They might go up. It might go down, who knows? You have 74,719 opportunities to get someone to like you. So mortgage brokers have 344,719 opportunities, and if a mortgage broker gets 100 people to like them, they kick ass. They have a great year. If you phone and ask people these 2 questions, you will get business. I said, just make 2 calls a day. Start at 2. The first 2 calls she made, both sets of clients were getting divorced, and she got both sides of the divorce. She got 4 applications out of her first 2 calls.
Woo! Guys, qui est sur les réseaux sociaux? Levez la main qui est sur les réseaux sociaux, temps plein. Personne? Temps plein? Temps partiel? Comment vous avez trouvé Tatiana Tonondolo? Avouez qu'elle est bonne, hein? Elle est bonne, hein? La prochaine personne que j'aimerais introduire, on va passer à la prochaine personne. Parce que vous savez, il y a une chose qui est important de savoir, c'est que Ryan, il commence sharp. Alors, toutes les autres personnes doivent finir à temps. Donc, c'est pour ça que je n'ai pas beaucoup de temps. Donc, j'avais un gros storytelling pour Dustan, mais je n'ai pas le temps. Je vais introduire Dustan. Donc, guys, Dustan, il vient de Vancouver juste pour nous. Pour ceux qui ne connaissent pas Dustan, vous allez connaître tout de suite après. S'il vous plaît, un grand applaudissement pour Dustan Woodhouse from all the way from Vancouver, BC.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Look at that. I never wanted to be a rock star, but I just felt like one for a split second. Okay, so mon français, c'est très mal, très mal. I am from BC. In BC, we get 1 year in grade 8, 3 hours a week of français. That was 40 years ago. So I apologize. I don't know why they bring an anglophone out to speak to you, but here it comes. I have been a mortgage, so I don't parler français fluently, but I do speak broker fluently. For 10 years, I was a mortgage broker, closed 1,695 files with one amazing assistant. Let's face it, she was really the brains. And then about 5 years ago, I got tapped and asked if I wanted to take a break from brokering and come be the president of Mortgage Architects, and I said, absolutely, a change is good, right? Change is good. And during my time brokering, you want something done, you ask a busy person. Somehow I managed to write a few books on brokering. They are not en français, but with AI, I think it's time. I can maybe do a français version a little more easily. They are, as I say, it's long overdue. Also, in my spare time, I did a podcast starting back in March of 2020. Because everybody was like, what the hell is about to happen here? And I got going, and 462 episodes later, I quit. I said, okay, I'm good. And no joke, the next day after I said, this is the last episode, thank you so much, I'm taking a break for a little while, I get this notification of 100,000, whoops, I skipped ahead, 100,000 downloads. I'm like, oh, if I'd known I hit 100,000, I might have kept going. This is the way it is. A little bit about me personally. My happy place is actually on a stage. I really enjoy this. I am so grateful to Sarujan and Jeff for giving me the opportunity to come and speak to you guys. And hopefully I'll leave you a little better than I found you. We'll see. My other happy place is the Sudan couloir. And someone yesterday said, cool bar? I said, no, the couloir is at the top of the mountain. The cool bar is at the bottom of the mountain. So anybody who knows, you want to hit the couloir in Whistler Blackcomb sometime, hit me up, we can do that. All right, here's one of the most important slides I'm going to give you today. This is I'm not an economist, An economist slide is going to have 13 graphs. It's going to have 500 words in 4-point font. This is not the kind of economic review you get from me. 2023, in a nutshell, I think it sums up this simply. Right? Right? I mean, seriously. And here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to create a little moment. I want to create a moment for Sarujan and Jeff. I want to create a moment for you. So I'd like you to get your phones out. I'd like you to go to video. Now, the realtors in the room, you're all going to go selfie mode. The brokers, a little more introverted, you're going to be like phones facing out, away from yourselves. No, not exactly, right? We're going to make a little moment here. So, for the PG, for the people who are polite, we're going to get a chant going, and you guys can chant WTF. But for the people who are a little more rowdy, and I think Montreal is usually a little more rowdy audience, is what I'm used to, we're just going to chant, what the fuck? Because 2023, a lot of shit went down, right? Tatiana broke the swear mold, so I figure I'm safe swearing now. 2023 was a hard year. A few of you had your best year ever. Who had their best year ever in 2023? There we go. You guys kick ass. You kick ass. The rest of you had your asses kicked. So, as I say, hit video, and let's make a little moment here. Actually, I'm going to do it too. We'll do it from the stage, and I want to get, as I say, a little bit of a video moment for all of us to remember this by. So, on 3. 1, 2, 3. What the fuck? Stand up, stand up. Come on, everybody stand up. Let's get into this. What the fuck? 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 Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. Thank you. I really only had a few keeners participating in that, but thank you. I wanted people to move a little bit. I wanted to wake you up. I wanted to get you a little more engaged. Of course, now you all have, you had a moment with your phones. So now put the phones away for a few seconds here. Here's the 2024 DW Economic Update. What's going to happen in 2024? 2024, it's going to be better with an asterisk, right? Maybe. You decide. You decide whether 2024 is going to be better. The people that had their best year ever in 2023, a whole bunch of them, by the way, sitting right up near the front. Most of the hands that went up are right in the front, the keeners. Those people decided to have their best year. And you can make the same decision. You can make the same decision. Now, I have a pop quiz for you. I want to engage you one more time here. No more cursing, though. A pop quiz. In 2023, what we're going to do, I'm going to look for answers to this question. I'm going to start like this. We'll go around the room. So as my hand comes around, I want you guys yelling out a percentage. I want to hear real guesses. Just go with your gut. What do you think is actually happening out there? In 2023, a AAA lender, so think, TD Bank, Scotiabank, First National, MCAP, AAA lender with 300,000 mortgages on the books. I want you to tell me what percentage of those clients were 3 months behind in their payments. What do you think is the percentage? Go. 20%? 20? 20? 30? There? Okay, I got a couple of 0.XYZs. I got some 20%, some 30%. The median broker in a mastermind group, I did 17 of these mastermind groups with 8, guessed 6%. The median mortgage broker guessed 6%. I was in a room full of realtors, 300 realtors Saturday night. They were guessing 50 to 80%. This is their perception of what's happening in the market. There's reality. That's not a percentage, that's the number. 187 people out of 300,000 are 3 months behind in their payments as of December of 2023. And 24 of them are dead people. Because dead people don't make their mortgage payments, right? No problem. Not their problem anymore. Who does not believe this is real? Anybody willing to put their hand up? Yeah? Okay, yeah. So whoever's sitting next to the pessimist over there, the skeptic, Move away from this guy. I interview the presidents of different lenders on a regular basis. I should have pre-qualified that. This is a real number. This is a real number, and it's not just one lender's number. I've spoken to 4 different lenders, and I've gotten their numbers, and they're all between 150 and 300 people on a per 300,000 basis. That's the reality. Now, your reality may be different because maybe you work specifically with distressed clients. And maybe you think everyone is distressed, but they're not. They're not. Virtually no person in this room is 3 months behind on their mortgage. No, I would venture to say the doorway is a pretty good filter, and nobody in this room is 3 months behind in their mortgage payment. It's not a thing. So people will say, oh, yeah, but you wait till the end of this year. Yeah. We heard the same thing in 2022. By the way, in 2022, it was 164 people. So it did go up a little bit. But here's the thing that keeps everything in check. It's the supply crunch. And I want you to think about this. In 2021, Scotiabank came out with a report, and they said somewhere between 100,000 and 2 million homes need to be built more than we're building by 2030 to get us back to a balanced market. And everybody was like, that's quite the range, guys. Can you do a little better? But, everyone was like, 2 million, that's a crazy number. Then in 2023, CMHC came out, and they said 3.5 million homes need to be built between now and 2030 to bring us back into a balanced market, whatever a balanced market is, an affordable home, whatever an affordable home now is. And then, last Friday, I'm standing in line to get on the plane behind this guy, and we got chatting. This is Benjamin Tall, the CIBC economist, who that morning, very, very smart man, I've been lucky enough to interview him, so he kind of recognized me, and so then I got to have like a 20-minute one-on-one chat with the guy, and he had just released a report that morning, February 9th, I think that was, 5 million homes. We're 5 million homes short by 2030. That's a pretty serious shortage. And the demand is not going anywhere. The demand is coming here, right? The demand is, of course, hugely propelled by immigration. And you can't slow down immigration because immigration is the engine that keeps driving the economy forward. There's no way to slow that immigration machine down that doesn't hurt the economy. And the government knows that. And that's why they're not willing to make a lot of changes on the immigration front. And the interesting one is new Canadian household formation. So people who are already here, who have kids, the kids are growing up, they want to go off and pair bond, they want to go to school at the other end of the country, maybe not McGill now from BC, because it's a little bit of a problem there. But there's new household formations inside Canada, just from the 40 million people already here, that the government does not actually have good data on. So there's all of these things contributing to the demand. The supply is not catching up. In Vancouver, very much like Toronto, you sign on the dotted line, and I believe also in parts of Quebec, more so than some parts more than others, you sign on the dotted line, you buy the piece of land, it's 7 to 8 years, sometimes as long as 9 years, before a client puts a key in a deadbolt. So this problem is not getting fixed anytime soon. It's not. Now, they say you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Over the past week and a half, I spent some time with Benjamin Thal. That was a fluke. I spent some time with Stephen Polos. I actually got to interview him on stage. Brad Simpson from TD, the head of Strategic Wealth. This gentleman I also had a conversation with. I'm going to share some of the insights these gentlemen gave me. I'll pass them on to you. I'll distill an hour-and-a-half conversation down to a couple bullet points. This is a man who had sat with 7 Canadian billionaire families the week before he came and sat with a bunch of mortgage brokers. So he's a pretty important dude. It was pretty awesome that he took the time out. And here's the one thing that we really took away in particular. We are now into a regime change as far as interest rates go. A lot of mortgage brokers in the room, we used to say, hey, bad news is good news. When you hear bad news, prime goes down. It's good news for your variable rate mortgage. Those days are over. Those days are over. The Fed and the Bank of Canada are focused on one thing and one thing only, and it's inflation. So the bad news no longer drives rates down the way we would have liked to see. This is Bob Dugan, the CMHC chief economist, We're having a little pretend arm wrestle over policy. Give us a longer amortization, please. Do something with the stress test, please. No, not happening. The only way that's probably going to happen is a change of government. And this is not a political statement at all. But the reality is, if there's a change in government, there's a change in the finance minister. The current finance minister has 450 portfolios to look at. Mortgages, it's not even on their radar. But you get a new finance minister in, they will be open to changing some things. So the only way we're going to see longer amortizations or a change to the stress test is with a government change. So we'll see what happens. And Mr. Polos, he really bummed us out. He basically said, get ready for 20 years of turmoil. 20 years of turmoil. That's what we're going into. We're going into consistent labor shortages, and we're going into an ever-increasing and deeper income inequality gap. The gap between the haves and the have-nots it's never going to have been wider or deeper than it will be over the next 20 years. That is a reality, and the decision you're basically making in this room is which side of that gap do you want to land on? Because the ground is going to split open right under us, and you got to figure out which gap you're going to get to. And what about rates? Are rates going to save us? Are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? Are they going to be flat? What's actually going to happen? They're going to go down, most likely. The question is, how much are they going to drop by? When are they going to start dropping? And at what pace? This is the big challenge. And most economists are now projecting a 1.25% drop by the end of the year. By the way, 12 months ago, they were predicting the same thing. A 1.25% drop by the end of 2023. That didn't happen. WTF. Here we are in 2024, and they just keep inching forward. Oh, we're going to see a first cut in March. Not March. We're going to see a first cut in April. Well, you know what? Actually, we're going to see the first cut in June. So they just keep pushing it out. So the interest rates are not on the way to save us. That's not what's going to save us. So I know I'm kind of probably bumming you out a little bit. You wanted some better news. So as I say, expect very few policy changes. Rates are a wild card. They might go up. They might go down. Who knows? Yes. 2 people at the last Bank of Canada meeting, because they released the minutes, they were agitating for a 1/4-point hike. 2 people around that table that make that decision were saying, we should go up another 1/4 point, right? And that seems insane to most of us in this room, but that's where they're at. And as I say, the number one thing to keep in mind is everything has changed. Everything has changed. I first heard the term VUCA. Has anybody heard the term VUCA before? It's a VUCA world? Yeah, not too many, right? It's a pretty new thing. I heard it in 2016 for the first time. VUCA stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. It's a VUCA world. I heard this in 2016. I was like, my world's not VUCA. My world's pretty chill. 2016 to 2020, this was a pretty good run. Oh, 2020, okay, some shit happened there. That was a bit of a surprise. But here's the thing. I think we need to embrace a VUCAO world, right? You're going to have the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, but in that, there is opportunity. There's opportunity, and here's the good news, all right? Here's the good news for the realtors in the room, all right? How many realtors are in the room? Give me a bit of a woo! How many realtors? All right, that's a fair number. Okay, my mortgage brokers, how many are there of you? Give me a little bit of a whoop here, all right? Okay, I feel like that's a 1/3, 2/3 ratio. And by the way, just a quick aside, how awesome is it that Sarujin and Jeff have put together an event to bring realtors and brokers together? Pretty awesome, right? Right? No doubt. First 15 years, 16 years in this business, first one I've been at, right? I'm always like the one broker in the room of realtors a lot of the time. This is great. So as I say, this is the good news for you guys. There's 74,719 transactions happening next year, and realtors are pretty likable people. That's why you're realtors. Brokers were like, maybe we don't feel as likable, so we just like to, do the thing on the screen. But realtors, you want to get out there. You want to be belly to belly. You want to show people houses, and you want to do the videos and all the rest of it. That's fantastic. You have 74,719 opportunities to get someone to like you. That's the question I want you to ask yourself. How can I not get 50 people out of 74,000 next year to like me. I've made somebody feel really bad about themselves. They're like, geez, only like 12 people liked me last year. But when you think about it, those are the numbers. How can you not win? How can you not win? Now, the better news for brokers, you got 344,719 because you don't just have the 74,719 purchases. Here's a little bit of math real quick. In Quebec, there's 3.75 million properties. 60% of those are owned homes. 60% of those have a mortgage. 20% of those are coming up for renewal this year. That number plus the 74,719 equals 344,719. So mortgage brokers have 344,719 opportunities, and if a mortgage broker gets 100 people to like them, they kick ass. They have a great year. How can you not get 100 people to like you out of 344,000? Well, brokers aren't as likable, so it's a little bit more of a numbers game for us, right? We're not as colorful, but we try. We try. So as I say, how are you going to make that happen? Outbound calls. All right? Yes, video matters. Never record a video, by the way. Never record a video. I know a whole bunch of you, if I open your phone, you've got 75 takes of the same video that you never posted. I know you do. I see, I hear the like, yeah, I know you do. Don't do that. Just go live. Go live. I'm live. I don't know. I might say the wrong thing. Oh, well, I'll just keep going. Just go live, do your update, and you're done. You don't have to think about it. It's over. It's like ripping a Band-Aid off. Like you can peel it off slowly for 3 hours. Oh, I should have said that word differently. Oh, I worry about my hair. I mean, I do. I worry about my hair. Like, where the hell did it go? You know, do I look quite right? Oh, my one eye looks bigger. Like all these, like never look at your stuff. I never look at any of my content. 462 podcast episodes on Vimeo and iTunes, but they're on Vimeo. They're video. I've never watched one, ever. Oh, how do you get better if you don't watch your stuff? You get better by doing it. Just keep doing it. If nobody ever likes it, then you're probably not getting any better at it. But if more people start following and liking it, that's a good sign. But here's the thing. You've all got a database. And yeah, I'm old. I'm an old man. But this shit is real, and it's true, and it holds up today. You reach into your database, I can tell you right now, you have clients sitting at home alone. 4 million Canadians live alone. They're sitting at home alone, and nobody's calling them at all. I have one client I call every year on her birthday because I'm the only person who calls her to wish her a happy birthday. She told me that 11 years ago, and I said, Debbie, why did you tell me that? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you sad. I said, no, I don't have feelings. I'm not sad. It's okay. But I said, I know you have feelings, and now I have to phone you every year for the rest of my life. I haven't been a broker for 6 years. I still phone Debbie every year to wish her a happy birthday, and we have a great little chat. I'm telling you, if you pick up the phone and everyone says, oh, but what am I going to say? Here's what you're going to say. How are you? How are you? That's your first question. What's your next question? Close. No, you're not going to close. How can I help you? How can I help you? That's it. These are the two questions. If you phone and ask people these two questions, you will get business. You will. And make sure you have a voicemail figured out, a script that says the word realtor or broker, mortgage maybe, at least twice, and your name 3 times in that script. Work it out. Figure it out. It's not that hard. And I'm telling you the truth, you will get referrals from people you left a voicemail with and never even spoke to. True story. And it's never too late. You could go back into your database 18 years and call someone you haven't called in 18 years. They remember you, especially realtors. They remember you. I remember the name of the first realtor I bought the first property from in 1995. I remember him very well. If he phoned me today, I'd be like, Doug, so great to talk to you. Can't believe it's been 30 years. I haven't heard from you. What happened? You know, it's that easy. And if you want to talk really easy and really old school, I have an Excel spreadsheet I use. It's super basic. It's got a couple of color codes. I'm not going to explain it up on the stage here. But if you're interested, send me an email with Excel in the header, and I will send this thing to you. And it's just one of these simple little tools that you are sitting here thinking right now like, oh yeah, I could put a little Excel sheet together. But you won't. You won't do it. So send me an email. I'll send you the Excel. I got nothing to sell you. I don't have a $1,000 binder full of bullshit at the back of the room to sell you. I'm not selling you anything. I'm just here to try and help you out. Like literally the brokers I have, I should say clients, they're my brokers. I got 1,973 of them across Canada. The ones that I actually light a fire under, who make the calls, the best one, I had a conversation recently, I said, just make 2 calls a day. Start at 2, right? The outbound calls are like chin-ups. They're hard, the first few. I said, make 2. The first 2 calls she made, both sets of clients were getting divorced, and she got both sides of the divorce. She got 4 applications out of her first 2 calls. Individual results may vary, but I'm just saying, it's that easy. Now here's the bottom line. Which economy matters the most? The provincial economy, the municipal economy, the federal? None of that matters. Which political parties and who cares? None of that matters. I mean, the new finance minister thing might be nice, but here's the reality, all right? The only economy that matters is the one between your own 2 ears. What you believe is what matters. The gentleman that doesn't believe only 187 out of 300,000 people are in arrears, that's not a good thought to have in your head. Like, you should accept that. That's reality. Don't buy into all the bullshit that you hear in the news and out there in the world, right? I said it earlier, the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, you better be spending your time with optimistic people. You better be. My final question is, who decides, right? Who decides? Now, I didn't get a lot of buy-in on the chant, the cursing. I got 30 seconds left up here. Say it with me. Say it with me. I decide. I decide. I decide. I decide, right? They're all saying that I decide. Thank you. I am a control freak. You made my day. If you want to track me down, you can find me on LinkedIn. Hit me up for that spreadsheet. Thank you.
Belle main d'applaudissements. Bravo. Merci. Merci, Dustin. Thank you so much.
Thank you.